Hi, welcome to the channel. This is Beyond Authentic, where we go beyond the mundane to tell you all about authentic witchcraft. My name is Lisa, and in today's video I'm going to be doing something brand new for this channel. You can see I'm in a slightly different background for this channel. This is going to be a react video, and today I am reacting to Meet Britain's Real Life Witches by the Sun. Ooh. So yes, my wonderful weirdlings, I am reacting to this video. Now, it was actually one of you sent me this over on Instagram and just said, hey Lisa, have you seen this? What do I think? Now, I hadn't seen this. Normally, I don't look at the Sun website. I don't look at the Sun newspaper. I don't like the Sun for lots of reasons. I find them quite despicable, actually, as a tabloid over here in the UK. But this video, when I haven't watched it, but I did kind of load it up and look at some of the comments. Hopefully I would have done my research by the time I'm editing this, and there should now be a picture in picture, I think it's called, coming up. Yay! So then, as you can see, the first picture that is loaded up onto my screen at 0.00 on the footage are 5 women. Yeah, 5 women, 4 of which are wearing witches' hats. One of them looks like it's a pound shop witch's hat with the silver sort of cobwebs on it. The one just in front, I think closest to us on the left hand side, actually has the very same witch's hat that I've got, that I was wearing in my video where I was talking all about the witch casket box. So do go over and have a little look at that. I love putting those hats on sometimes because they're just fun. And if I'm just doing a video for you on YouTube, then it doesn't matter what I've got on my head. But obviously I wouldn't necessarily wear that out. And I can imagine the producers from The Sun, they were like, have you got a witch's hat? We want to see the full stuff. And these women were like, okay, I don't know whether they got paid. That would be really interesting. So this was released on the 25th of October, 2019. So you can kind of forgive the Halloween element because it is just before Halloween and it is a tabloid. So, you know. Right then, so we're going to go ahead and start. I'm just putting my headphones on. Just so that there's no sort of sound issues. But yeah, let's have a little look-see then, shall we? Let's see what they've got to say. Oh.
Hello, friend. Let's build up this energy. Can you go fast?
Okay, first of all, they have a Ouija board. Now, that is not something that I would recommend anybody do. I have not got a Ouija board in this house. I will not have one in the house. I haven't got so much as a planchette or that sort of image in the house. The only sort of image connected to a planchette that I do have is it's sort of vaguely in that shape on the back of a t-shirt. It isn't actually a planchette. It doesn't look like a Ouija board. It doesn't look like that. Now, the reason that I don't have those in the house is because a Ouija board for me is a doorway. It's a portal. It's something that you use to connect with spirits and energies from the other side, or potentially that are still trapped here. Now, that's very good, and they've got their uses, and in certain situations, you know, I could imagine myself being around people that are using a Ouija board or talking board. However, for me personally, that's a doorway that once you open that doorway, if you don't know what you're doing, and not everybody in the circle or not everybody there knows what they're doing, that doorway can be very difficult to close. I've got personal experience with that. If you want, I'll do a story time at some point talking about my experiences, ghost hunting and doing all of that stuff, where Ouija boards were used and kind of some of the things that happened. So yeah, so personally, for a start, that isn't something that I would ever do. But anyway, let's go on with it. So far they've said, hello friend, and they're wanting a spirit from the other side to come through.
Star? Can you go faster?
And of course we've got the obligatory spooky music, which then cuts into comedy spooky music with 4 witches on broomsticks at a crossroads. Right, so we've got medium and head witch Charlotte Clark. Head witch?
As a child, I remember very, very strongly of always being.
Okay, I like her headpiece actually. That looks really nice.
When the faces come forward.
And she's got 4 slashes and
I used
bright
to
red
think when I
lips.
was a child and at school, I was a bit like, you know, Bewitched, the witch, and I thought I could move my nose and make things happen. It was quite weird. I was a weird child, I suppose. And it wasn't until I was
really interesting. I don't know if anyone has noticed. In the background, there's a board, and she's got "If I lay here, if I just lay here" written on it, which I think is fantastic. I like that. It's one of my favourite songs. Anyway, just picked up on that.
I actually realised
So she's been spooky for a long time.
All the different spirit energies.
Oh, nice. There's a nice crystal cluster. There's a clear crystal ball in the foreshot. Now that actually looks like a resin crystal ball. Now there's nothing wrong with those, but that isn't kind of a quartz crystal. So if you ever sold a resin crystal ball that looks completely transparent, or sometimes photographers use them because it inverts the image, that is something which is not a quartz crystal. You can never get genuine quartz crystal to that. You can get resin, and you can get crystals where they've kind of used quartz elements and sort of like turned it into a powder and put those in the resin and all of that stuff to get that clear one. But if you're using a crystal ball and it's sold to you as a quartz crystal ball, if it's that clear, it's probably fake.
Negative things. And there was a time where I realised that things could happen, mind over matter. So be careful what you wish for, is where I'm going with this.
Yeah, be careful what you wish for is true. I would say that. Here we go. Every week the witches meet up and cast spells, do readings and carry out spirit boards.
Please guide and protect us.
The power of the Holy Spirit, please guide and protect us. Now that's interesting. Normally in this it would be some sort of calling to a deity, a god or a goddess, but they've actually gone straight in with Holy Spirit, which does show you that witches can come from all sorts of different backgrounds, and so you do get Christian and Catholic witches. You know, so that is something which is quite possible. It'll be interesting to see where this goes.
Show us the light and put the light around this table. And we do tap into various energies. We like to have a go of...
There was a poppet in the background.
The spirit board or the talking spirit board. Don't like to use the word Ouija board, but there's other ways that we also work with different tools.
Oh, she's smudging with a sage stick. Okay, yeah. It banishes any negative energy. It actually banishes all energy, positive or negative.
Hello, welcome, friend. We feel a new energy has come forward. We'd love to work with you.
Lots of tumblestones and crystals are on the side.
Your name.
Is this Hannah? Okay.
You know who this is?
Yeah.
Okay, then take over the board and ask the questions.
Do you approve of what your grandchildren are doing right now?
I do want to know why they're all wearing
I know that, yes.
the Halloween costumes, because that is not how...
No, didn't think it was.
That's not how I know most witches to be.
Proud.
Like, we do have ceremonial outfits, but it isn't quite that Halloween-y.
Okay.
But again, it's done by a tabloid newspaper for Halloween. After her husband died earlier this year, fellow Witch D uses the spirit board to connect with him.
My husband died earlier this year, and he quite often used to come with us to spiritualist meetings or shows. And so
a spiritualist church is one thing, but
know that he can get a message.
Just know, I'm going to pause this. So again, they're showing you using a sage smudge stick. Now again, with sage smudge sticks, you can grow sage in your garden and make your own smudge sticks. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You can use, you know, dried sage and just use it as an incense. The one thing I'll say about doing smudging, especially if you're using sage or even Palo Santo, is that it does remove all energy in a property, so the positive and the negative. So when people are like, oh, I'm just banishing negative energy, what you're actually doing is getting rid of everything. So it's a bit like using antibiotics in sort of medicine, where an antibiotic is really useful for clearing out all the bad bugs, but it will also clear out the good ones and the positive, helpful ones as well, which is why if you've had antibiotics, you can sometimes get things like thrush and other conditions just until your system kind of balances itself back out. And this is what you need to bear in mind with sage, is that if you've got workings in place and kind of spell bottles in place and protections in place, if you're smudging with sage, it will get rid of all of that. It will basically completely cleanse an area, a bit like full strength antibiotics. So just bear that in mind.
So that's quite comforting. Most witches, it's based on friendship and the bond of being there for each other, no matter what.
I'd agree with that. Absolutely agree with that.
Basics of any witchcraft. At the end of the day, it's we eat together, we drink together, we're friends together, and we've got each other's back, and that is how it should be.
I wouldn't say it's the basics of witchcraft, but it's the basics of maybe covencraft. Interestingly, cutting to them laughing and cackling.
Conjures up a load of old hags sitting around a cauldron and hubble bubble. We like to think of ourselves as not hags, but it's like we're all connected. bit like being sisters.
We are the witches
Okay.
of East Church.
To me, being a witch is part of normal life. We all do it. We've all got a little bit of witch. We all do it without realising.
What a witch means to me is pure energy, love, light and laughter.
Pure energy, love, light and laughter. Okay. Could have a few fans where they live on the Isle of Sheppey in
Everyone
Kent.
seems to know on this little island who I am, what I do.
Everybody seems to know who she is. She's got a giant banner that's outside of her house.
Happy Halloween!
Among spells and spirit boards, the Witches of East Church use pendulums. I love it's the Witches of East Church, like the Witches of Eastwick. So they use pendulums to tap into spirits of the witches who lost their lives on the island. So they're just spinning their pendulums right now with that many pendulums in one place.
That met their deaths here to
Interesting.
come forward. Show us you are here by moving the pendulum.
Again,
Work with us, ladies.
interesting.
I ask now, show us you are here by making the wind really, really blow around.
Some people think it's silly, but
So
then
she's using a pendulum
they
and
may do
asking it
things I
to
think
make
is
the
silly, but I
wind
have no
blow
judgment
really,
on
really blow
anybody else.
around.
I always feel that if you're
Okay.
into this way of life, you have to experience what life throws at you in order for you to be
Oh, now
able
they've got some tarot
to
cards. I
guide
mean,
and
that
help
looks like
other
an interesting
people.
one. Possibly oracle cards. They look
I've been
interesting.
in a couple of violent relationships. On one of the occasions, I was quite frightened. And I was
Yes,
asking for
tarot
help.
cards.
And all of a sudden, it was like being in a movie. The door slammed shut with the person that was harming me on the other side of it. And it's making me go goosey as I'm talking about it. But I remember or recall hearing something that sounded like it dragged or slithered over the floor. But it prevented the person from hurting me. And it's true that what they say, that negativity
Okay.
can come in all shapes and forms. So I would always say be very, very careful, because this is real. There is another world out there that we're very, very close to. It's better to work with love
is real,
and
yeah.
light rather than sending out anything nasty, because it comes back tenfold and bites you on the ass.
So then, what did I think? Actually, do you know what? It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought that was going to be absolutely bullshit. I really did. Especially with that opening shot of these 5 women, 4 of which dressed as Halloween witches with their pound shop witches hat on. And basically giggling and cackling in various shots of them using the Ouija board, the talking board, spirit board, all of that. So yeah, I thought that was going to be absolute codswallop, but actually I quite like those women. Is it just me? And yeah, trust me, like, I have gone to ritual, and I have gone to rituals, especially at Samhain, especially at Halloween, where I have gone in the full kit and caboodle, and I've got my witch's hat on, and I've got all my layers and everything else. I've also done pagan camps where I've worn very, very, very kind of theatrical kind of pagan accoutrement. But even in my general everyday life, I mean, this is a, Illuminati t-shirt. I've got, what earrings have I got in today? Sun and moon, star and moon earrings. I like a lot of that kind of paraphernalia around. You can tell that I've got my pentagrams everywhere. I've got tattoos and all that stuff. So I don't mind that. It is kind of a bit of fun. I will say, if I scroll down and have a little look-see at some of the comments on this, it says they look like Halloween lovers. Witches are real, but I'm pretty sure these are not witches. Well, they are. This makes my craft look like a joke. Well, it doesn't, Ryan. It's something which is fun, isn't it? I mean, we can all take a bit of a pot shot at ourselves sometimes. Witchcraft doesn't base on your appearance or what you wear. That's true. They're only witch lovers, not real witches, and this is a big insult to the craft. I don't actually think it is a big insult to the craft. I mean, I took it that way on face value at first, but if you look at what's in the background, they've got a massive amethyst giant geode in the background. There is the crystal ball. There's lots of tumblestones. There was some tiger's eye. There was obsidian. There was jasper. It looked like there was rose quartz, standard quartz. There was a massive quartz cluster. They had smudge sticks. They had, you know, so they had the talking board. There were lots and lots of that paraphernalia there. They had their besom. I've got a besom. You know, if I walk around the streets with a besom and a witch's hat on and a cloak, immediately I am going to get looked at and laughed at. But going to ritual wearing that, it does put you sometimes in a different mindset, because it's not something that you would necessarily pick up and use or wear every single day. When you're putting them on, it does put you in a different mindset. It puts you in a different headspace. And so that is something that if you take it super seriously, then it can go down that road of, you know, almost like performative witchcraft. But even just kind of putting it on as you're casting a circle, there is a reason why magical tools were used. There was a reason why, you know, magical ointments and unctures and all of these things were used ahead of ritual. It was to change your mindset from the mundane to the witchcrafty and to the magical. And that is something which, you know, to this day is still done. This was a tabloid newspaper doing a 5-10 minute little video at Halloween. This wasn't designed to be a serious look at the craft. And I've got to say, the 5 women featured in this, they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew that it was a bit of fun. They played into the joke rather than going against it. And I've got to say, it looks really interesting to me, actually. I would kind of like to go to the Isle of Sheppey and meet these women just for a coffee and to see. So then overall, I've got to say, I actually quite like that video. I hate that it was the sun that did it, but the actual contents of the video I quite like. It was light-hearted. It was a bit of fun. And it wasn't at all what I was expecting. I was expecting them to absolutely rip it to shreds, and actually the women themselves and the practice that they seemed to do did seem to be quite a lot of fun. So yeah, from this old curmudgeon's perspective, I quite liked it. Let me know if you want to see me react to more videos like this from the interwebs, and if you see anything that you think, I bet Lisa's got a few things to say about that, drop me a comment down in the comment section, or send me a message over on Instagram. My Instagram details should be on screen, but it's just at Beyond Authentic. The I is a 1. So do drop me a message over there if there's anything that you would like to see me react to. But that is it for this video. If you've enjoyed it, please do the thumbs uppy things and the YouTubey things to subscribe and all of that. Now, obviously in that video, you did see somebody using the tarot cards. So don't forget, I do a live stream each and every Sunday evening here on this channel, 7 PM UK time. It's called the Self-Care Sunday and Tarot Hour, and it's literally what it says on the tin. We do a bit of self-care. We do an hour or so of tarot reading. It's free, a 3-card reading, so if you'd like to pop in for that, then I will see you on Sunday. But for now, that is it from me, and as I always say, stay you, stay weird, stay authentic, and I'll definitely see you next time. Bye-bye.